Okay, number 12, part 12. Welcome to the Vossaholic channel. My name is Voss. I'm an alcoholic. I have to always say that. That's sort of like a step one. It is telling on myself, it is keeping it real. And so, yeah, we're on Bill's story in the big book, page 7. Um, Bill's kind of moving towards his bottom. He's been suicidal. He's gone to a doctor for a sedative. He's drank on the sedative. That can cause auto asphyxiation, I think it's called. So, reading right along, we're on the very first paragraph. My brother in law is a physician, and through his kindness and that of my mother, I was placed in a nationally known hospital for mental and physical rehabilitation of alcoholics. So, read between the lines here, folks. The nationally known hospital, it could have been like, I forget the name, but I think it's like something with the word general in it in New York City. It could have been like a hospital, but the telltale sign is sort of secretive that Dr. Silkworth also calls it, Silkworth says he's the medical director of a nationally known hospital. So I think the whole bits and pieces of the story in two of the letters by Dr. Silkworth are basically about Bill. I would probably strongly say that that is accurate. Yeah, but it's an anonymity deal here, so you know he doesn't really want to disclose that because what it does is it ups the value of our of the privacy and the value of this experience. Okay, so this isn't going to be put on any sort of a public channel where it can be accessed by the public. This is going to be only for my sponsees and their sponsees and our sponsorship tree, okay, family tree of sponsorship. So Bill's now in a nationally known hospital for mental and physical rehabilitation for alcoholics. Under the so-called belladonna treatment, my brain cleared. So I didn't research belladonna. What is it? Shock therapy? Like, here, we're going to shock you. I don't know what it is. I'm curious enough to look it up now. Hydrotherapy and mild exercise helped much. Don't know what hydrotherapy is. Could be waterboarding. That's not funny, but it is. Best of all, I met a kind doctor who explained that though certainly selfish and foolish, I had been seriously ill bodily and mentally. You know, doctors have a lot of authority, and when you're newly sober and vulnerable, I mean, and poor Bill here, he was sort of like, I'll do anything, whatever it takes. Nowadays, when you put your life and your health in a doctor's hands and they prescribe something to you that might be a new drug that they get like backdoor benefits, like a little perk, you got to really hopefully be by someone who is in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous that has the wisdom, understanding, and experience to know if that medication is going to help you or hurt you. So it's important to stay with your sponsor once you pick one, because they have friends that have knowledge and they'll go to bat for you. You know, if you put your hand out, a lot of us will bend over backwards to help you because people did that for us, and we know it saves our can if we help the newcomer, the new man. So it relieved me somewhat to learn that in alcoholics, the will is amazingly weakened when it comes to combating liquor, though it often remains strong in other respects. My incredible behavior in the face of a desperate desire to stop was explained. I'm going to embark on that a little. Sounds like this doctor who's been trying to, maybe he met Silkworth, was trying to help alcoholics get off alcohol. And he sort of maybe broke it down for him. Hey, this is how it is. You have strong will for making money and being a stock guy, but once you come near the think of alcohol, you have no mental defense against the first drink. And that's going to come up later. Little seed was planted there. So he writes, understanding myself now. It's getting warm in the apartment. Understanding myself now, I fared forth in high hope. 1940s writing. For 3 or 4 months, the goose hung high. Okay, so that's another 1940s thing. So he's feeling confident, you know. He's there for a while. He's getting sober. He's doing a little exercise. He's doing their therapy of belladonna and hydrotherapy, mild exercise. He's doing what they're suggesting and recommending. I take walks. I love hiking. I do have a gym membership. I swim. I do hit the weights. For 3 or 4 months, the goose hung high. Don't know what that really means, but it sounds like he's feeling confident in his recovery. I went to town regularly and even made a little money. So it sounds like he might be in the sober living wing of the hospital or in a sober living, and he's leaving the nest of healthiness to go out to town. And that's hard when you're newly sober and you're so addicted to alcohol. And he's working a little, so he's sort of getting his bearings back. Surely this was the answer, self-knowledge. Somewhere he writes later, self-knowledge will avail us nothing. I think you have to do the action. You can be all heady and smart like doctors, but if you're not taking the action to call on your sponsor, going to a meeting, maybe being of service in the meeting, shaking hands, making coffee, throwing out the trash, actions. Second to last paragraph, but it was not. For the frightful day came when I drank once again. So self-knowledge didn't really completely avail him. The curve of my declining moral and bodily health fell off like a ski jump. So Bill's from Vermont. He probably went skiing. He knows what it's like to, ski off cliffs and land it. But here he is thinking, okay, the doctor and the hospital and the therapy stuff and these things and a little exercise and a little work and all this knowledge, and this is going to cure me. So he had no mental defense against the first drink, obviously. So after a time, I returned to the hospital. So he fell off the wagon, but he went back to the hospital. This was the finish, the curtain, it seemed to me. So I returned to the hospital. This was the finish, the curtain, it seemed to me. My weary and despairing wife was informed that it would all end with heart failure during delirium tremens. That's for real, folks. That's I've mentioned before. Delirium tremens. It's where you shake so bad and your body physiologically is addicted to alcohol. And if you don't have alcohol, it will shut down. You'll die. Sad, but it's true. That gaffer in Hollywood, pretty sure that's what happened to him. He would drink to blackout, wake up, be sober enough, he thought, to drive without getting pulled over, drive, get more alcohol, go back and drink, and that's all he did. And an amends that I have, we'll call it a living amends, is, this is where I was in my early 20s in my moral character, and I was going to more meetings than I was working. And robodialer. I have. Excuse me. This is Voss. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah. May I ask who's calling?
Yeah, this is Bethany with Folk Rehab. I'm calling for Eric.
Yes, that's me. Over and out.